Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. And you know what? I want to start by saying that Ashton and I did come to an agreement with her on Facebook. We're going to be live reacting to New Year's Evil next week. It looks like a really stacked card, and it seems like it's going to be a fun show. So I just wanted to emphasize that before I say this next thing. I really don't give a shit about NXT anymore. This utterly bored me tonight. I couldn't even make myself pay attention. Now, granted, I've been feeling a bit meh still, a lot better than yesterday, but I did get my COVID booster yesterday. And I'm still kind of feeling the effects of that a little bit today. Maybe that had something to do with it, just keeping it totally fair. But I don't really give a fuck about these people. I don't care about Boa and whatever complex he's having between, wearing the paint and being possessed and then not being possessed. I don't care about Solo Sikoa, who I think is really just bland and is getting by on that nepotism that you and I have complained about many acts before. I think I like Zion Quinn and I like the whole story, but I'm going to be honest, as an Escobar fan, I feel a bit dissatisfied. I look at a guy that's so complete and so good in the ring. I don't understand why he's not in main event conversations. I love GYV, but the tag division makes me want to pull what little hair I have left on my head out because I really don't give a shit about Jack and Time. They annoy me. Jensen and Briggs are just fucking hicks that should be heels 10 times out of 10 in this current climate. Not going to say much about Ciampa because I'm pretty sure he's losing the title next week, and he's not as bad as we could do. I mean, certainly relative to, say, like Karrion Kross earlier this year. You trotted out EO. I don't even like Kaylee Ray, but if I'm a booker, like, I understand the value she has coming in as like the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, and just to keep a match the same way that it was. So you kind of tease something happening and then nothing happens, and I can't fucking stand Raquel. And Cora's okay. I want to go easy on her. She's 19 and she's got a lot of promise at such a young age. I think, in 2 to 3 years, I think she's really going to tighten a lot of her game up. Von Wagner, fucking oafish, fucking a complete disconnect, even though I do like Robert Stone. The best part to me of the show tonight was fucking Diamond Mine and Carmelo Hayes. That was the most active attention I was paying to this show. Everybody else, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. I really had to fight to pay attention to this show tonight, and a lot of times I lost that fight. I'm not gonna lie. So I just don't think this NXT is for me. And if it's for other people, that's great. I think we have a lot of options today. But I couldn't help but think while this show was happening, God, I can't wait for Dream Queendom tomorrow. God, I can't wait for Dream Queendom tomorrow. Like, all I kept thinking about was Stardom and us doing Dream Queendom tomorrow at 4 p.m. I hope you guys are there. Because that's wrestling that makes me happy. That's wrestling that makes me feel something. Hell, the whole Momo storyline by itself has made me feel more and has invested me more than 2 hours of NXT every week. I mean, that's just really... So I just really had to get that off my chest because I'm watching this tonight and I'm just feeling fucking listless, and I'm like, God. Now, again, New Year's Evil looks like it's going to be a great show. I actually am excited for that, and it seems like they put their back into this card. But, man, NXT just as a week-to-week television program, I'm just utterly disconnected. And there comes a point where you just have to own it and say, it might be me, but that doesn't necessarily make it wrong. How'd you feel about tonight's episode? I'm curious about your take.
I got to admit, I didn't hate tonight's episode. I thought that there was some really good stuff, and I will say, actually, the most surprising thing to me is that I feel like this is the most I've enjoyed watching an episode of NXT in a long while, and that is in spite of the fact that there was no Cameron Grimes on this show.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It was nowhere on this show tonight. Um, but yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I can see that we're just completely opposite sides of this because I really am
Well,
not emotionally invested
right
in
now,
this.
this NXT is starting to feel, from my perspective, the same way that it felt regarding AEW right before we stopped watching it.
Yeah,
Or really, I should say,
yeah,
right before we stopped covering it on the channel.
right.
Because there will be times where I'll be like, "Oh, that was pretty good," and you are just completely dead on the show.
Yeah,
And that's never
yeah.
happened with NXT before, but it happened with AEW quite often before we stopped covering it, and now it's starting to happen with NXT again.
Yeah. And again, I'm excited for New Year's Evil. I'm hoping Braun wins the title. But just, man, like, and Grayson Waller, who again, I don't necessarily think is necessarily like the shittiest performer I've ever seen. But it's like, man, he gets so much TV time. Do I really got to put up with this for so long? And then I'm already thinking, like, if Braun beats Ciampa, right? Grayson Waller, without a doubt, is going to be NXT champion in 2022. Like, I'll put that on my fucking bingo card right now that Grayson Waller wins the NXT championship. Because if they're not building him up to that when he already had a fucking Monday Night Raw appearance yesterday, confronting AJ fucking Styles.
And he's facing AJ again on New Year's Evil.
Yeah, they called it a confrontation, which is very interesting wording, so I'm not expecting a formal matchup, but I am wondering what's going to happen there. But, like, you're already associating Grayson Waller, who, again, I don't want to take the piss out of any performer. Notice that I'm really not trying to do that. I'm just saying that I feel disconnected from most of these performers. They're already having him rub shoulders with AJ, who, even take WWE out of the equation, the dude was a Hall of Fame wrestler. And then what he's done in WWE, guys made his mark everywhere. Like, it's a big deal. So yeah, he's 1,000% winning the title in 2022. If he doesn't, it's either because he suffered a serious injury, which I hope doesn't happen, or I just don't understand NXT at all. Which, let's be honest, with how disconnected I am, is entirely possible. But yeah, they are grooming him for big things.
Yeah,
big things next year.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get into it, man. Fuck, heat of the night, and that's the thing. Like, I don't have any heats tonight. I'm not having any like, grr, I'm so mad. It's just, fuck. It happened.
It's hard for you to find something to be angry about on a show that you just don't care about.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to be invested in order to be angry.
Exactly. But what about you, though, man? I mean, you seem very positive on this, so I'd be surprised if you had any heats tonight, but I do want to give you the floor.
To be fair, I'm not very positive on this. I'm just at all positive on this, which is a fuck ton of a lot more than you are.
Yes, that is fair.
But as far as heat of the night goes, shit, man. Was it you literally just pointed out one of my heats of the night, which was that they made it seem like there was a chance that Io might find her way into a women's championship match and then snatched it out from under us for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, I'll never understand when WWE does that shit, because this isn't the first time they've done it, you know? And, like, just keep the match we were fucking promised and promote it another way, which makes me wonder, like, I hope Toxic Attraction's okay, because why didn't they compete tonight? But, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it's fair to call this the heat of the night, but just everything Joe Gacy is just awful and contrived and garbage.
Dude, it's... You know, I've
officially gotten to the point that I'm giving up on the gimmick ever being anything that I'll ever connect with when even Andre Chase can't save it.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. And this is coming from a guy that it's well documented on this podcast. You guys can go back and listen to past episodes. I've tried to defend Gacy because I do like the guy as a performer. I have fond memories of watching his heel work, you know, in Force One back when I used to live in Jersey. This isn't it. I don't give a shit about Harland either. Oddly enough, because again, this is just something that I completely tuned out of, but I do have like a detailed recap, and I saw that Andre Chase was kind of the victim. Andre Chase might actually grow on me more and more going into 2022, because I do like the gimmick, and I don't know, maybe the guy will even turn face next year. I could see this dude getting people behind him. It's just one of those gimmicks that I think, with kind of overall fan taste compared to, you know, decades past, I think this is something that would weirdly resonate with people. I don't know. So Andre Chase, I would give that another positive personally.
Another big problem I had with the show was Santos losing to Solo Sikoa. What the fuck,
dude? I think I was kind of broken before that, as far as like me just admitting like I do not give a fuck about this NXT. But I see that and I'm like,
just to clarify, because some people might not necessarily understand what you mean by that. When you say this NXT, you don't mean this episode. You mean this iteration, NXT 2.0
Yes,
as a
this
whole.
iteration, NXT 2.0 as a whole. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just to really double down and emphasize. Because here's the thing, bro. I understand that, there are a lot of spirited debates in wrestling, and that's putting it nicely because I think most debates are toxic. But I would fight anybody that Escobar is one of the top 5 performers, not just in NXT, but in the whole company. Like, I really think the world of this fucking dude. I think he's got the look. He carries himself like a champion, even when he's not holding a title. His promos are like he just checks every box.
Straight up, with all the dudes that got released this year, I'm not even going to try and argue with you on that. I feel like, any arguments that anybody might have had to be like, oh, well, there's this many guys that could potentially be ranked above Santos, I can't even list half of them anymore because they got fucking released.
Exactly. And again, I go back to me, this guy should be, even if not NXT champion, which is my fucking dream, he should be in the conversation for it, quarterly at least, like every couple months. He should come in like a revolving door if he hasn't won it and be like, hey, because he should always be to me in that upper tier. And he's fucking losing to, God, this is going to be my most asshole comment of the night. He's fucking losing to Uso Light. Seriously?
I decided I'm going to start calling Sikoa Treso because we've got Uso, Doso, and Treso.
Yeah. Might as fucking well. And I don't want to be fucking mean to the dude, but Jesus Christ. Bland as shit. And fucking Escobar's the one taking the fucking L's. God damn it, man. Any other heats tonight for you?
Let's see. I will say tonight's. I don't know how to classify these. All I can really call these is things that I got angry about during NXT tonight, because I don't know if you can even really properly call it heat of the night or heat of the whatever, or even a nitpick. But like the Tiffany Stratton match that we got tonight, all it did was make me angry that Frankie Monet got released, because what the fuck did she not do better than Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah, and when we're going to get to the Tiffany Stratton segment, I wanted to be a bit gentler, man, but, you're not even wrong, because, she did that like, backflip move in the corner, and it really slowed down at the final end. She wasn't able to hit it with the snap that, it should have to look really good. But again, I wanted to be gentle because you said, you prepped me for this. You're like, she's really green. She's only been wrestling a year. But I'm like, yeah, like,
dude,
if you're building
for 4 months.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, I'll be even gentler. Like, but see, that's my fucking problem, right? And here I will say it is a me problem, because somebody I think would have every right to say, well, John, what the fuck do you want? Because I have this contradiction where it's like, I don't think these acts should be put on TV until you're damn sure they're TV ready. But then the other part of me is like, okay, well, if you're not going to put those acts in, that's why we have vets. But so many of the vets that they have, I feel like should be called up. Like, when I see Io in a main event that she doesn't even win, it just makes me think, why aren't you wrestling Sasha Banks right now?
Dude, I feel like that juxtaposition is the problem, though, right? It's not, oh, we don't want you to have rookies or vets. The problem is we don't want you to have these vets mixing it up with these rookies. We want either one or the other. If you're going to have NXT be the rookie show and you're going to have it be the developmental show, call the fucking vets up. If you're going to keep the vets down there, then stop putting green as goose shit rookies on TV and give us the vets that we want.
Yeah.
It's like they're deciding they want to be 2.0, but they also still haven't figured out whether they want to have their cake or eat it.
See, and that's the thing. Like, if you were, because they did a whole fucking War Games match centered around the concept, right? Black and Gold versus 2.0.
Yeah.
If you're really like, oh, 2.0 is here, then phase out Black and Gold.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
We loved the Black and Gold era, but we're still begging you, please, put Io on SmackDown or Raw. Please.
Yeah.
Put fucking Ciampa. I don't give a shit. Put Ciampa on SmackDown or Raw. I don't care. Put fucking, I fucking dare you to put Peter Dune on either one of those shows and watch him drown.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck me, man. And you know what? Maybe if they did that, if they did fully commit.
Roderick and Santos both should be on Raw and or SmackDown.
Dude, Especially, I'm sorry I keep coming back to this like a broken record, but I'm going to talk about who I actually enjoy so that you guys get some semblance of a review on my end.
Right.
Especially fucking Santos. I mean, Jesus Christ, again, I can't believe he lost to Solo Sikoa. I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm just sitting there like, how? And just maybe if they did commit, it would give me the opportunity to invest because I know exactly what I'm getting. But it's like you're hurting me because these people that I watched that I wanted to see do bigger and better things by now, they're losing to that next generation. And that's fine. I get that you got to build a next generation, but damn, there's got to be another way. There's got to be a more effective way. I don't know.
And WWE's just staring at you like, well, yes, but no.
Yeah. And Foster, Foster, to be fair, like, I understand that, dude. And I think for me, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a bias there. Because I'll tell you, Foster, like, I personally love Santos a hell of a lot fucking more than I like Pete Dunne. When I saw Pete Dunne get his hand, quote-unquote, crushed when, D'Angelo took that crowbar to it, I fucking enjoyed that. I even said on the podcast last week, like, oh, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's a comeuppance for Dunne. You're going to act like a baby face, but it wasn't that long ago that you were running roughshod over everybody with Rich Holland. So fuck you kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like NXT, it doesn't fully know what it wants to be. Hell, New Year's Evil, with as stacked of a fucking card as it is, you're having to bring in Riddle and AJ and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's because of, like, the COVID news we've heard come out or what, but when does this brand really get to own itself kind of thing? I don't know. I'm just in a weird place with it.
It's like, okay, do you want to be PWG or do you want to be FCW? You can't be both. You have to pick one.
And there it is. Anything else you want to highlight personally?
I don't think so. Let's get into a review.
All right. Let us get into our NXT review, and we start off with Grayson Waller. Pretty much talking about his appearance on Raw last night. Says, everybody likes AJ Styles, even though he threatened me. And I will admit, see, and this is why I think I've been a bitch on Waller. He got like a chuckle or two out of me. Because he straight up said, like, they don't want none. They don't want none. That song sucks. I don't know. The way he said that got a chuckle out of me. And you guys are trying to get off your fat asses because you're excited. It's so basic. I'll never deny that it's basic, but I don't know. Sometimes basic works on a given night, right?
You've referred to yourself as basic multiple times in the past, so it makes sense that it would connect with you.
Yeah, I mean, I am consistent. Ah, crap. So, I am consistent with that at least.
Did something happen that you said all crap about there?
Yeah, my charger. I was charging something and it just fell off. So let me just readjust that real quick. Apologies, everyone. But yeah, so Grayson Waller pretty much taking the heel 101 pot shots at AJ's theme music and the fans being overweight and all that stuff. And, if he says if it weren't for Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz, he would have showed AJ that he didn't want none. And he talks about how Dexter Lumis was supposed to be his opponent. Crowd's chanting, shut the hell up. But, Dexter Lumis won't be able to compete tonight. I hope he's not, legit injured.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they found a suitable replacement. And what do you know? It's Odyssey Jones. Great to see him, unironically. Yeah. Odyssey is another guy that I like.
It was.
So then, it's Waller and Odyssey Jones. And again, for what they're trying to do with Waller, this wasn't a bad match. Odyssey very clearly had the power advantage, and they played that well. But the pivotal moment in the matchup came. They're working in the corner. Odyssey looks like he's about to powerbomb Waller. Waller takes the top turnbuckle pad with him, and he gets powerbombed for a near fall. Then, Odyssey, Waller's kind of in the corner. Odyssey charges. His sternum hits the exposed turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom rope rolls through, and he hits his stunner. Oh, did I cut out or something?
You did cut out, yeah, but you're back.
Okay. But yeah, it looked good. He rolled under the bottom rope, hit his stunner, shot.
He just cut out again now. What the fuck?
Let me check my internet.
No, I hear you again now. I don't know what was going on there.
Should I check my internet just to make sure we're all okay, or?
You know what? Maybe I should check my internet, actually. Because it might be a me problem.
You did have robot voice for just a split second for me there a few moments ago.
My ping is a little on the high side. Download speed is just fine. I mean, it's nowhere near what I pay for, but I pay for over 1,000 megs. I pay for over a gig. Just gonna wait for the upload to start. Here we go. And yeah, no, it's not mine. It's not on me. It's all good.
Might not be on me either. My numbers are looking pretty normal too. I mean, relative to what I get.
All right.
So maybe it's Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, of course it's fucking God. Facebook is such garbage.
Yeah, my upload's fine, which upload usually would be the cause for this, as
Right.
I've learned.
Yeah.
Upload's fine for me right now, so I'm just gonna keep going. And yeah, Waller, I'm not gonna shit on him because it looked fine. I just don't think, again, if you're gonna have him go in there for 20 plus minutes or whatever, I think he would stink the job. I think he has a very similar problem to Cross, or I fear he has a very similar problem to Karrion Cross. Did you have anything you wanted to say about this, both the promo before the Odyssey Jones matchup and then just the matchup itself?
Well, already know I'm not a fan of Grayson Waller. I think the dude sucks. It's far like I was talking to Kirby Freeman in the Discord earlier, and he's becoming a fan of Grayson Waller because he's a good heel in his mind. And to me, you can't be a good heel if all you do is get heat. If all you do is get heat, you're fucking Stephanie McMahon. You're not a good heel. You're a shitty heel. A good heel gets heat and then gets baby faces over with the heat. Grayson Waller doesn't fucking do that. Grayson Waller is just a fucking heat magnet, and that's it. And they don't know what to do with him.
I don't know. I can see what you're saying. I still think the jury's out because it's very clear that they're still prepping the ground for him. And then my question will be, okay, after you've prepped the ground, because I already said at the very beginning, and I'll reiterate, I 1,000% think he's going to be NXT champion in 2022. When you have all that, when you have the quote unquote going viral and stuff like that, and you have the title reign, what babyface do you make with all of that? And can Grayson Waller do that? I'm agnostic on that question because I legitimately, I don't know. I can't judge him for that now because I don't even really think, like, obviously they've got their foot on the gas, but they haven't finished whatever they're doing with him yet for him to really be able, I think, to make those baby faces. So we'll see, but I can understand why that'd be a concern for you. 100%. 100%. Anything else you want to say about this?
No, sir.
All right, my good sir. Then we will go then to then AJ after the match says he'll be at New Year's Evil. Grayson Waller backstage is like, I got no problem with that. He bumps into fucking MSK and he's like, oh, screw you. And actually I might be jumping around because that did happen, but I think in between this we got Cora and Raquel backstage talking about their stuff, and Cora again getting ahead of yes we can coexist, and just talking about the NXT Women's Championship match. Then Io shows up and says, whoever wins, I want the first shot. Then Kaylee Race comes in and says, I gave you that baseball bat for a reason. I said, you would need it to protect yourself. I don't care if it's you pointing to Raquel, you pointing at Cora, or Mandy. I want the next shot. And then Mandy Rose appeared on screen, and that's how we got our whole tag match. She's like, the women's War Games team wants a piece of me. Mm-hmm. So let's do this tag match. Winning team, 2 people get to face me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, man. This, honestly, it would have even been a better payoff than just keeping the match as is if Toxic Attraction rushed the ring and just caused a DQ, and then we got like a fatal 5-way. It would have been stupid for the heels, and I still would have had a nitpick about that. But at least you would have had the match for a reason. Right. I'm just so annoyed that like you did all this, and it's
time.
like, oh,
they're just filling time.
Exactly. So then after that, I already talked about Waller bumping into MSK. We get another vignette for Tiffany Stratton. Her daddy says she's ready to take over NXT, and her daddy is never wrong. God, NXT, I gave you the perfect blueprint to do this gimmick, and you were just like, fuck you, John, which, fair. But you know what? Fuck you, NXT. So after that, Zion Quinn backstage. Zion Quinn, another guy that I like. There are acts that I genuinely like on this brand, guys. It's just, I just felt like the show is really becoming tedious for me just to get to the few acts that I do like. And he's addressing Elektra Lopez. He says he knows Lopez wants this as much as he does, and it's time for her to make a decision. Pick him or Legado. Quinn says she must make the decision tonight. That's another thing. Kind of picky as to nits, but I feel like that decision wasn't even rendered. It just seemed like, because I thought, oh man, this show really seems like they're going to get all their storylines in a row before 2022, which I can honestly respect. I get that. But that didn't happen. She didn't make that decision because Escobar was still like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, look, it's not what you think it is. Oh, really? Because it seems like you like him. And then she'd be like, fine, I do. And now I personally think she would be wrong because daddy, but like, fuck, that didn't happen. So we're still doing this whole thing of where will she go? And I guess that's whatever. Let's see, what do we get after this? Okay, yeah, so we got MSK. You know what, man? I know you're a huge MSK fan. I just gotta say one thing before I hand it over to you. The ass kissing from this fucking arena. It's like, yeah, now you know how good you do have it, huh? Having one of the best fucking tag teams probably working in the industry today on your fucking brand. Because I didn't hear any fucking hecklers tonight unless I missed something.
No,
So what
I
do you
didn't
think
hear
about
any
this?
either. I didn't hear any either. I thought this was great. I thought this was really good. I really enjoy MSK. They're another one that's like they're too good for the show. It's like they are Cameron Grimes, Duke Hudson, Roderick, Mello, Santos, Io, like fucking Dakota. The list goes on and on. But they are on this show. And by the way, before I do talk about this, I just want to say, since we kind of addressed Grayson Waller, I just want to say, since we're past him now, I'm really glad that he wasn't on this entire fucking show again.
Yes, that you and I will hard agree on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Too much exposure. You gotta
yeah,
simmer down.
yeah, please. So that's a big thing that I wanted to address. But then back to MSK, they didn't really say much with their promo. They talked about the Guru thing. Basically, they just kind of recapped everything that they'd been through, and they said that they were going to challenge Imperium, and they did. And Imperium came out, but then fucking Walter shows up on the Tron, and we get set up because Matt Riddle is also showing up on the Tron in like a split screen, and it was kind of funny actually. But it sets up a 3-on-3 tag match for next week. Imperium, represented by Eichner, Bartel, and motherfucking Walter, versus MSK and Matt Riddle. I'm stoked about this match, personally.
Yeah, should be a fire 6-man tag. Like, again, yeah, like, that's why when you're like, oh, dude, we should live read New Year's Evil, even with how I was feeling about the show and the realization I had where it's just like, I really think this show, just, again, as a week-to-week television program, isn't for me. That's why I agreed, because when you're putting matches like this out there, I mean, it's fucking Walter, who really is, like, one of the few attractions, like him and Brock Lesnar.
Walter, I was just going to say, Walter is NXT Brock Lesnar. You literally just basically reworded what I was going to say there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm down for this. I'm absolutely fucking down for this. Fucking Foster. How the hell did Walter get Riddle's Zoom ID? I don't know. But yeah, we got this. I thought it was a fine segment. MSK, I think they needed that absence from the arena because, again, I did not hear a single fucking heckler, and that's how it should be. It's one thing to make criticisms kind of like, I have in the past where it's like, oh, maybe it was too much too soon for them. I like, when basically the chase. What was that?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, maybe. And yeah, stuff like that I think is fair game. But when you're just heckling them over an opinion they had, which I didn't even think was an egregious opinion at all.
Well, of course, we don't think it's an egregious opinion because we're not fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that is true. So good segment, fire 6-man tag coming. And yeah, now we continue the show here. We get Harland and Gacy stuff. I'm not fucking talking about this. This can get fucked.
Good, thank you.
We see Idris talk about his win over Von Wagner. Von Wagner, though, runs up and yells at him how he got lucky. Malik appears to stand with Idris, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get the upset tonight because with Idris, a win is a win, and I'm gonna do the same. And I think Von Wagner even asked Malik Blade who the hell he is, and Malik took kind of offense to that. But yeah. Then we get more stuff with Harland and Gacy. This was the whole Andre Chase thing again. Not talking about it. This gimmick can get fucked. Yeah. After that, we get Legato backstage. God, I love this faction so much. Man asks Santos, what do you think about Zion, Quinn, and Electra Lopez? But Raul and Joaquin, they yell at the cameraman. And Lopez pretty much gets confronted by Escobar. And, she's like, oh, I don't have a thing for him, whatever. So she's just kind of lying to herself and everybody. Then Solo comes in, and it's this whole thing. And, Escobar is just like, yo, do you not see that we are having a thing here? Like, do you have so little respect? Like, what's wrong with you? And then Solo's like, you got misplaced hate, but if you've got an issue, we could settle in the ring. Yeah, I bet we can, Solo. Yeah, I bet we can. Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. Really not going to talk about this. I think the GIFs speak for themselves. Flatliner, I think, is a perfect finish for how early she is in her career. It's safe. It's believable. Just as a finish, you're driving somebody into the canvas. It's fine. But man, that backflip Larry in the fucking corner. Oof. But maybe keep polishing that one. After that,
you refuse to give up on people this early in their careers. I fully admire that.
Dude, I really am. Like, in all sincerity, I really am trying, dude. I really am, because I think there's a difference between owning your feelings, like I've tried to do in this review, and then just being an asshole. And I really don't want to do the latter. Like, I really don't want to do that.
Right.
So we get a vignette with Tony D'Angelo talking about Petey Paisan. And he's bragging about how he used the crowbar on Pete Dunne last week. I'd brag about it too. That shit was fucking hilarious. And how Dunne learned the hard way he should never have messed with Tony D. He goes on and says the beatdown will be much worse if Dunne comes back for more. You know what? I hope he does. Normally it's like, I wish a motherfucker would about oneself. But in this case, as a very gleeful bystander, I hope this motherfucker does. And I hope he gets his other hand smashed with that crowbar. That's an NXT that I can believe in. Fuck you, Petey Paisan.
Yeah, I don't know if I can remember a time when a heel did something malicious to a babyface that was just this fucking deserved.
Dude, you said it perfectly, because I'm just sitting here like, so we're all just going to act like you didn't have this coming?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
100% he did. Absolutely.
Oh, man. It's always so much better when we're unified. Amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You know what, man? Because you already know what I'm about to do in this segment, so I'd like the mature adult in the group to really take the reins on this. The contract signing.
Don't rely on me to be the mature adult right now.
Oh God, really? For the contract signing? Because the
contract signing was amazing. It was so good.
Yeah, like.
Oh, you mean because of Malcolm?
Malcolm,
bro. Honest question.
Bivens.
Honest question.
Yes.
Even from your perspective, was Malcolm even the star of this segment? Even from your perspective.
Honest perspective, I'd say he was the number 2 star behind Mello, because Mello just keeps getting better and better to me on the mic.
Yeah.
Honestly, Malcolm might even, because I enjoyed Trick too. Like Trick, I keep saying, like Trick is so good. So actually, really thinking about the segment, Malcolm's definitely number 2. Like he's no worse than 3. Trick might be number 1, and Hayes might actually be 3 when I really think about it. That would be my personal ranking. Now, I'm curious who you thought the stars of this segment were. Like, who really?
No, dude. My main thing is exactly that. My main thing is Mello and Trick stole the fucking show in this segment.
Yeah.
They were both so good.
They're an amazing act, dude. I know Trick, it's kind of a weak comparison because obviously he's not bulking and he's not like a giant or whatever, but they've got that Michaels Diesel energy that they really do. Like, I hope Trick comes up with Mello when he's called up, and with a hype man like that, I could believe Mello is a world champion. I really could. Like, I love watching these two work the microphone, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And again, I love Malcolm to death. Oh my God, did he kill this? But it really says something about how talented both Mello and Trick are, that in a segment with Malcolm Bivens in it, and I say that totally unironically, they not only hold their own, they stand the fuck out.
Yeah. This
was great. So again, if you want to talk about, what were some of your favorite moments from this segment?
Dude, I'm really bad at just remembering quotes word for word. I do know that Trick had a couple of really good lines that I just can't recall word for word right now. He brought up how the whole "when I shoot I don't miss" thing isn't just a catchphrase, it's a lifestyle. I thought that was cool. I'm not good at remembering lines word for word, so
Right,
I'm not gonna
right.
try and recite them. But like, yeah, it's especially when I've seen it one time. Like, I gotta repeat shit to be able to remember it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Dude, I'm the same way. Like you, I'm not going to be able to recall any lines. I will say, too, and I hope I'm not about to put my foot in my mouth with this statement here. There's just something so wonderful about a dynamic of, like, a really talented workhorse, but that's still quintessential fucking Wonder Bread in Roderick Strong being paired with Malcolm Bivens. Like just something about that works. The whole thing where Trick and Mello are just running Roderick down, and he just looks at Bivens because he knows Bivens will be able to break it down for him. He's like, can you translate that? And they do. They do a literal translation bit that just works so well. I really, God, I'm really pulling for Diamond Mine, man, because I like Ivy Nile. Roderick's been great for like 10 plus fucking years. And the Creed brothers, I hope they win that 4-way tag match that's apparently going to happen. I don't know if that's New Year's Evil or just
Dude, you know what's
or
weird
like 2
though is
weeks.
that they never officially stated that match was a contendership match.
It seemed very heavily implied, though,
I
right? Because it
agree
seemed
that it's
heavily implied.
implied, but normally when shit is just implied and not explicitly stated, that is them leaving themselves room to walk it back.
That's true. That's true. Maybe they don't want to commit right away.
Yeah, I
Um,
hate it. I really hate it.
but yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean this was great, and again, everybody really just seemed to step up their game. And honestly, look, again, love Roderick to death. As an in-ring worker, I think he'd make any person that you want to make look like $1,000,000. But thank God he was in there with 3 really talented talkers, one of who was on his side. Because man, if this was Roderick on his own, he would have been fucking torched. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Um,
big time, big time.
to end this, Trick got put through the contract signing table by the Creed brothers. I tweeted that Trick Williams got exactly what he deserved. Got me a little bit of playful flack on Twitter from Dominique Williams. I said that Diamond Mine gave a whole new meaning to whoop that trick. So hopefully Bivens sees that and he likes
Oh
it.
my
So I was proud of it.
god.
I thought personally, I thought 10 out of 10 tweet from yours personally, but of course. After that, what did we get after this? Oh, Sikoa versus Escobar. Really don't want to talk about this. We already know Sikoa won. I don't need to relive it. After this, more Harlan and Gacy stuff. See, now Harlan and Gacy this week really had the Waller effect in a negative way.
Yeah.
Way too many segments here. Way too overexposed.
Yeah.
Then we get Solo Sikoa backstage. And then he says, if anyone else wants to get this work, they can. And then Boa just comes out of nowhere with the face paint and assaults him. And then camera cuts, and then it cuts back, and we see Boa without the face paint looking confused. And narratively, this does have me a bit intrigued. I think Boa is still so green. I'm not really invested in him.
Right.
And so, it's kind of a problem. I mean, do you have anything you want to add to this? Because it does seem like
I
they're
was
doing
even
kind of
going
a
to say,
story.
dude, I completely agree. I feel like it's really hard to get invested in what Bo is doing because, like, we've seen you wrestle, dude. We know that you're not that good.
Oh, God. And see, this is the softy in me because he seems like such a good dude, but wrestling isn't about that, man. If it was about being good dudes, I mean, granted, we'd have far fewer world champions because we know how scuzzy the fucking industry is. But, I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I'm pulling for you, Boa, but again, this ain't about sentiment. We get Wagner versus Malik Blade. Was there a phantom fucking count here? Because I thought when Malik got the roll up like Idris did last week that it was a 3 count. But then the referee was like, no,
Truthfully,
it was only 2.
dude, I didn't catch it. I didn't see it.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. Again, I am feeling kind of still a bit under the weather given everything. So maybe I just missaw it. That's possible. But I'm like, wait, did Malik just win? But yeah, Wagner wins. I do like his finish, that twisting slam that he does. I think it's a cool visual. And then afterwards, he kind of puts boots to Blade a bit more until Idris comes and he kind of saves him. And then Robert Stone is just kind of shaking his head. What a fucking twist it would be if Robert Stone actually went with Idris and said, hey, man, you dress the 9. Now you got to, like, play that part in the ring. And I'm going to help you do that. Because I think the Wagner-Stone pairing is very obvious. But it'd just be fucking hilarious if we decided to go with Idris. And it'd be pretty cool for Idris. Because, again, I do like the guy's look and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was that. And then we get our women's tag match, which, again, just amounted to absolutely nothing. Jade and Raquel start breaking down towards the very end of the match. I guess they weren't able to coexist. But they were long enough, though, because Kaylee Ray tries to roll Cora up. Raquel pushes Kaylee Ray, kind of shifts the weight back to Cora. Cora gets the pin on Kaylee Ray. And yeah, so Raquel and Cora keep their spot.
Yeah,
Fully
dude,
expect-
I missed the finish of this. Did Raquel break up a fucking pin that Cora was going for?
Yes, she did. And I didn't even fucking understand why.
What in the actual blue fuck was she doing?
Dude, from my vantage point, I have no fucking idea. Because I don't even think Raquel was legal, obviously, because Cora still ended up getting the winning pin. So I don't know what her fucking
So
deal
was this
was.
just a botch?
It might have been. I don't know if anybody in our chat can defend this.
Was Raquel trying to break Cora Jade's leg the way that she did to Karen Q when she was pinning Rhea Ripley?
Oh, damn, you went that hard. I mean, possibly. I don't know. Jabbar's asking a great question.
I will never not go hard on people who injure other people in wrestling.
And then still get pushed in spite of it.
We still haven't given Riddick Moss a fucking break. Fuck him. Riddick Green.
Yeah, that is true. God, yeah, fuck him indeed. Foster says he doesn't think it was a botch, just bad writing. I wish I knew what that writing was trying to communicate, Foster.
Yeah.
But again, I guess that's precisely why it's bad, right?
Right,
So,
exactly. That's what makes it bad.
Yeah, so Javar's making a great point. Does Cora Jade have a finisher? Roll up of luck, I guess, as opposed to roll up of doom? I don't fucking know.
Nobody
fully
knows,
expect
so
her.
about it.
See, and this is another thing that pisses me off. And again, I will fully cop to my bias here. Like, we know Cora's going to eat the pin. That's not where I'm pissed. Where I'm pissed is that Raquel is still the... Well, I think she is. Because the way I see it, I could see Raquel hitting a Chigona bomb on Cora, and then Mandy picks the scraps or something. Right. I'm convinced that Cora is eating a bit. I mean, hell, if I'm wrong, I'd be happy to be fucking wrong, because where I'm pissed is they're making Raquel the priority. And fuck Raquel being the priority of anything, unless you're talking about releases, in which case she should be a fucking priority.
Yeah.
And you fucking trotted out EO. And again, just from a business perspective, even Kaylee Ray, who I'm not even a fan of, but like, she's coming in with all this credibility, longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, and she loses to a fluke pin to Cora Jade, who I have no qualms with. But it's like, why even do it? Why make Kaylee Ray suffer that? Why waste EO like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just the crotchety old man here, but I was annoyed by this main event.
I mean, you're definitely crotchety, but I don't think you're an old man.
I appreciate it. I'll take it. And that was NXT. That was NXT. So yeah, high spots, low shots. My low shot is Kaylee Ray. Ate the pin in a matchup where if she would have won it, her and her tag partner, being Io, would have gotten an NXT Women's Championship match next week at New Year's Evil, which is looking like a stacked card. And now her and Io are off that card completely, which really is just seems weird to me. So yeah, Kaylee Ray is my low shot, specifically because she ate the pin on that team. Who's your low shot?
My low shot is Zion Quinn, because he tried to force an ultimatum and was met with the simplest answer: no.
Yeah, maybe next time, stop trying to force people into your binary thinking, bitch. Yeah. High spot. What do I want to go with here? You know what? Fuck it. Honorary high spot, Malcolm Bivens, because he got a lot of laughs out of me tonight. But my actual high spot,
I am like gonna go to stab yourself in the throat.
Yeah. Fuck it. You know what? I'll go Grayson Waller.
Oh.
Holy shit. I mean, he beat Odyssey Jones, and he's still rubbing shoulders with AJ Styles. It wasn't a one-off fucking thing. So Grayson Waller will be my high spot. I know.
Okay.
Who's your high spot?
I mean, I guess Cora Jade, considering she did win, the match to get a women's championship match tonight for her team.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Javaris, I don't like it either, man. All right, I'm feeling gross about myself. So with that said, With that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinator, commentary Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the videos you find out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never get miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box, including our Patreon, where you can get your own TWitWoW request live done, get access to our Discord for only $3 a month, and get additional Q&A questions, which we'll be doing Q&A in 2 days. December 30th. Dude, I fucking know, right? Goddamn. 7 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, if you donate $1, you get 2 additional Q&A questions, because non-Patreon donors get 3, which means you will get 5 if you are a patron. So get in on that. Like I said, Discord is $3 a month, and the Discord has a Q&A channel. Really easy place to submit your Q&A questions. Follow us both on Twitter. I'm at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. So again, 2 of the easiest places in my mind: the Q&A channel on our Discord and my pinned tweet. Ashton is at Ashton_TWitWoW, and his pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. So obviously we're in December. December's almost over. And we're going out with a bang, baby, because tomorrow at 4 p.m., I cannot fucking wait for this shit. It is Stardom, Dream Queendom, live reactions, the show that I was thinking about the entirety of NXT 2.0 tonight. We're going to be doing that at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Then the day after, Thursday, again, 7 p.m., it is TWitWoW Q&A, last Q&A for 2021. And then Friday, 7 p.m., it's the big one. It's TWitWoW year-end awards. Still tweaking some stuff. Realized I didn't have a worst promo of the year. I do have one now. I think you guys are going to love it. I think if you really rack your brain hard enough, you probably figure out what it is. But yeah, we go hard on that. We are starting at 7 because we'll probably go the 5 hours and ring in the New Year's with you guys. So everything from worst match to best match, worst heel to best. We do the worst first and then save the best for last. It's always a fun time. I know it's Ashton's favorite commentary that we do. I'm still right in saying that, right? I feel like you've said that before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's your favorite commentary. So we're just going to take a deep seat and enjoy it. And yeah, guys, but there you go. But first and foremost, again, Dream Queendom coming at you tomorrow at 4. Be there. It very easily could be the pay-per-view of the year. I am so fucking psyched for it. Holy shit. I really feel like this show is going to be a watershed moment for Stardom. So be there, guys. I'd be elated if you were. But until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Tune in. Peace out.